Morning traders, and this is your DAX Day Trade setup for today. Now, as expected, we had this inside bar on Friday, and then yesterday we've got this massive daily bar to the downside. It is not quite an inside bar, but pretty close to another inside bar. But to me, that is engulfing this bar. But I'd prefer it to be engulfing a green bar. So, in other words, I'm not 100% convinced that we have a pattern here. What I am convinced of is that we have come back to test this area here. Okay. The concern that I have is that we have pretty much closed at this level, and I'm just going to adjust the level to this inside tail here. Okay, this is what I refer to as a Brooks gap, and it's something which a trader that I got a lot of respect for, Al Brooks, highlights this as a trading gap. So this area here seems to be a level where buyers are stepping in. If we look at the moving averages, we've had a bearish crossover, but we are going flat. We're not pointing to the downside. Okay, so the question here is it going to be another scenario like this? You see we broke down and then up. The 200 EMA is pointing up ever so slightly, but the 200 SMA is pointing down. A bit of a problem. No diversions. We do have a grouping, and we've now kind of crossing over. Okay, so I think the levels to pay attention to right now are still, I'm going to put these daily levels in. The DAX daily levels are pretty critical. I mean, that's what you need to focus on. But let's just get the 4 hour, make sure we're not missing anything here. So I've got these levels. There we go. You see there's a Brooks gap on the 4 hour, and you can see we tagged it pretty spot on. And this level here lined up very well with the 200 moving averages. Okay, so I know we've crossed over again. We've got a bearish cross in the moving averages. We are above the 200 moving averages at the moment, and oscillator is starting to group the downside. Still a bit of a way to go, but we could get a turn in the middle of nowhere, so that is a possibility. So I am quite surprised that the DAX didn't follow suit on the US markets yesterday. Okay, US markets were up almost 0.5% at the close, and China's fairly flat. Japan is flat. Korea is up. So the Asian markets are rallying, not rallying, but they're kind of stable at the moment. And to be honest, with the political noise that Trump caused over the weekend, I was really expecting the US markets to fall more, which they didn't do. So clearly the people see value there. I'm starting to believe that the buyers are starting to accumulate positions. But anyway, so this pattern that we see here on the DAX, not really relevant, doesn't give me any information. If I go to the hour, what I do have here is a bit of a consolidation. Not entirely convinced, and I can actually add another level in here on the hour, which is there. So I'm not entirely convinced. This does look a little bit to me like a flat bottom triangle, which means it's going to be another squirt to the downside. So that's kind of first glance that I have. And I don't really have any fractals at the moment to help me. And I'm also a little bit skeptical about taking a short here. We do have a few daily levels here. If I keep looking to the left, you'll see there's a hell of a lot of price actions in these 3 lines. Okay, so let's get to the half hour. Okay, so just bearing all of this in mind. So what I would be doing today is, there's my trend line that was happening, and then we've got this little bounce at the close after a massive move to the downside. Um, I'm really not convinced either way at the moment. We could still fall, and we could still move the upside. So I think the easiest way is, let's get rid of the noise. That is the fractal to the downside you need to pay attention to, and obviously that is the fractal to the upside. So that is the range we're in at the moment. A break above 12,079 is going to pave the way for moves to the upside, but I do suspect you're going to get a bounce off probably this area here, bounce off, and then a move to the downside. Okay, so what I'm looking for is something along the lines of this group, and then you're ready. Okay, whether it happens today or not is another story. We do have diversions here, low, low, high, high. That it is possible. It's just that we don't have. Let me see if we've got something on the 12-minute maybe. Okay, so I'm going to take this off for 12. These are my fractal levels. So I'm looking for 12,047 to give, or 12,009 to give. Okay, if 12,009 gives way, I'm not entirely convinced I want to take that trade. There's just too much happening here, and all my time frames are indicating that we need to be looking for a level, because price is about to change, and we've got this 200 moving average. So that may be an option there. And I don't think we've got a gap down here, do we? No, that one was closed. Yeah. So if we do break below, I'm not entirely convinced I want to be taking that short. I think I'd rather be looking for a long. And everything is pointing to long. My oscillators are telling me that. The diversions on the moving averages are already starting to turn here. I've got an inside bar price action on the hour. We are off a level or in a zone. So my bias is definitely to the upside. But the easy way for this is, I want a 12-minute close above 12,047, and my stop is below 12,0010. If we do get below 12,0010, just take the stop, and I'll wait for the next level to form and see if I can get in there. Okay, but ultimately I don't believe that this is a move to the downside. I think this is just a broader consolidation pattern here. More than likely sort of a shoulder, head, shoulder type thing. But obviously we've got to get way above 12,320 in order for that to be validated. But that's kind of what I'm looking at the moment. Okay, so the bias is to the upside. If we do drop to the downside, then I will be waiting at 11,980 area for a long entry, and your stop would need to be below 11,859, so basically below this fractal. Okay, now that's kind of my view. It's like a 51% bias to the upside at the moment. This could be this was a double bottom, target was hit. This could just be a retest of this break, which is a double bottom double bottom neckline. So that's what could be happening here. Okay, and there are buyers stepping in. Okay, anyway guys, that's it for me today. Hope it helps, and I'll catch you later. Cheers for now.